Hi, everyone. Okay. Uh,
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. First question from Ms. Chonayu, Radyo Inquirer.
Sir, good morning. What is your marching order to DTI to improve Philippines' performance on exports and transform it from being a laggard to a powerhouse in the region?
Well, really, what what the export plan is about is for us to be prepared to compete. Marami tayong pinasukan ng mga opening of markets with preferential treatment for different, lalo na yung RCEP, uh, ang pinaka nahuli sa mga ganyang treaty. Pero linalakad pa natin yung mga FTA, mga free trade agreement sa iba't ibang bansa. Malapit na tayong pumirma sa Korea. We are still working on the EU. We are still working on the United States. But the reason we are doing this is we want to open markets that will be able to be that the Philippines will be able to export to and import from. So it's not one way, it's trade. And that is the most important thing. But what we have to do is to allow ourselves the the restructuring of some of the elements that are within the law, that are within the rules, so that we can compete on an even basis. Kaya pinag-aaralan natin lagi kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga ibang bansa na successful sa kanilang trade agreements, sa kanilang mga export. At ang pinakamagaling sa ngayon ay nandito sa Asia. Yan ang kakompetensya natin. That is why we have to bring up our game, export game a little bit, and support our exporters so that they can compete in foreign markets and that they are able to be not only suppliers but also industrial consumers of the products that are around the world. In other words, to strengthen trade.
Next question from Ms. Mela Lesmoras, PTB4.
Hi, good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
Speaking of our foreign relations, ano pong reaksyon nyo sa naging invitation ng UAE para invitation po ng UAE
Oh,
para dumalo po kayo sa UN Climate Change Summit? Did you accept it? At gaano po ba kahalaga sa Pilipinas yung mga katulad nitong mga international conferences?
kaya suit-suit ko to eh. Because it was given to me by the ambassador of UAE dahil nga meron yung climate change that COP 28 is being held in their country. But certainly, first of all, kaya ko sinama siya kahapon, ang ambassador ng UAE, ay dahil sila talaga ay mabilis na nakapagbigay ng tulong kaagad. Hindi pa tayo humihingi, nagparating na sila ng yung mga pagkain, yung mga relief goods, gamot. Yun ang kaya kailangan kaya ko sinama para naman makita niya na kung saan pumunta yung kanilang tulong, and we have to be very grateful to them. And part of our he came to see me, the ambassador came to see me beforehand, the day before, and we were talking about precisely COP28, and to see. I hope to be able to attend because climate change is a primordial issue when it comes to the Philippines. So I hope that we will be able to attend. And
morning, Cutie
beyond
Connie.
the conference of parties is that we also want to renew and um, our ties with the UAE. Ang daming Pilipino doon. Kaya kailangan makatiyak tayo na patuloy ang kanilang magandang pagtrato sa ating mga kababayan sa UAE. And they have been. They have been very welcoming. They have treated our people very well. They have protected them, and they have allowed them to make a living in the United Arab Emirates. So that's something that we hope to continue and even progress further.
Thank you
Next,
very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
next Julie Baisa of 1PH.
Morning, sir. Sir, nabanggit po kahapon ni Governor Lagman na kailangan natin ng around 166 million to ensure po yung continued assistance sa residents na affected ng Mayon. Sir, meron na po ba tayong pagkukuhanan ng pondo as of this moment?
Well, kung nakita niyo sa briefing, those figures are dependent on how long that the evacuees will have to stay in the evacuation centers. At marami tayong mga issue tungkol nga kailangan gamitin ulit yung mga eskwelahan na ginamit natin ng evacuation center. Pati na yung mga pag-aaral ng mga bata, lahat dun ay kasama ah, sa assistance na ibinibigay natin. But simple lang naman yung cash assistance. The only thing that when it came to cash assistance yesterday, dahil nag-usap na kami na ni Governor Lagman at sinasabi niya, maganda, meron tayong mga food products, meron tayong mga hygiene kits, gano'n, na binibigay, meron tayong mga naitutulong, meron tayong evacuation center. But it comes to the time, iba-ibang pangangailangan ng bawat pamilya na hindi naman nasasama doon sa assistance na binibigay natin. Yung pinag-iisipan natin, yung iba maraming anak, yung iba wala. Yung iba may inaalagaan na lolo o lola, kailangan ng gamot, kailangan na magpatingin sa doktor. So all of these things have to be included. So nung tinitignan ko nga, kaya sinasabi ko yung binibigay na mga figures, sabi ko wag na muna ipakita sa akin kung ilang piso ang nagastos natin. Ang tignan natin ay kung gaano karami ang pamilya na nakaramdam ng tulong natin at gaano pa karami ang hindi pa nakakaramdam ng tulong natin. Kaya yun ang kailangan natin na pag-aralan na mabuti. And so that's what we are doing now. We want to make sure, as the local governments say, ay yung mga bawat bayan, hindi naman pare-pareho yan. May malaki, may maliit, may nasa bundok, mayroong malapit sa syudad, mayroong iba-iba. Iba-iba yung mga issue. Kaya kailangan sensitive ang gobyerno doon sa kanilang pangangailangan at mabigyan naman, matugunan naman natin at mabigyan ng solusyon sa kanilang hinaharap ng mga problema.
Sir, may assurance naman po na may enough fund naman po na magmumula sa national government once nalaman na po kung magkano yung figure.
Well, we will whatever is needed, we will have to provide. Hindi naman marami namang tumutulong, marami namang ahensya, all agencies are already engaged uh, in the rehabilitation effort, in the support for the evacuees. At sa palagay ko naman, nandiyan naman lahat ng mga, kasi hindi naman laging cash lang ang pinag-uusapan. Merong mga non-cash na tulong na ating binibigay. So that's really, I think in terms of the actual na gastos na ano, ay palagay ko alam ko namang may budget tayo diyan. Pero ang sinasabi ko, yung instruction ko sa kanila, pag-aralan nyo ng mabuti. Hindi mo basta bigay kayo ng bigay ng pera. Kailangan tignan ninyo ano pa problema para maayos natin kung ano yung problema nila. And if it takes cash, then that's good, well and good. But if sometimes it's not cash, matagal namin pinag-usapan, anong gagawin natin sa mga bata na hindi nakakapag-aral, na walang ginagawa. These are other issues that are basically not quantifiable, but they are important. The issues of mental health of those children, even the parents, kailangan natin pag-isipan yan kasi mahirap talaga yung pinagdadaanan nila. So we have to give all the support that we can.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, MPC.
All right? Okay. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Ah, that's the first interview. May kasunod pa.
Ismela.
Hi, good Good afternoon, Mr. President, and happy anniversary for the Department of Agriculture.
Thank you.
Mr. President, may I ask what steps has DA taken to ensure affordability on the agri-sector while focusing on improving production?
Well, those two go hand in hand. The best way to improve, to first of all, availability and to keep the prices down is to have a good level of production na hindi tayo nabibiktima ng tinatawag na imported na inflation, which is what's happening now kasi napipilitan tayo mag-import. So we are doing everything that we can to increase production in all aspects. When I'm not talking only about rice and corn, kundi pati na ang livestock, pati ng fisheries. Ginagawa. Ngayon, kaya kami nag-meeting ngayon after the program, ay nagfa-finalize kami ng NEP for this year. And I wanted to talk to the USECs and the other bureau chiefs kung ano yung kailangan natin na ipaglaban doon sa budget. So that's what we were doing upstairs. And most of it has to do with increased production. Sabihin ko na sa inyo, see the soil health program, the aquaculture development program, the biotech research for fisheries, but that is only what we talked about upstairs. Meron pa yan, siyempre, lahat ng produkto agricultural commodities ay talagang ipinipilit namin na pagandahin. And that's why we are going to partnerships, on the PPP partnerships with some big groups, some small groups, some local, some international, para mabigyan tayo ng tulong para nga doon sa value chain na mabuo natin.
Mr. President, may I also ask, what is the role of farmer cooperatives in achieving growth for agri-sector?
Critical. And the first step, in one of the first steps that we must take, if we are going to lower the price of production, the cost of production, is to use big machines to mechanize the system. You cannot use the big for production and post-production na mga technologies kung maliliit masyado ang farm. Kaya ang unang gagawin ay i-consolidate. Kino-consolidate yan sa isang kooperatiba. The cooperatives, generally speaking, ang aming average is 50 to 100 hectares per cooperative. Tapos, i-organize pa yan para mas malaki pa, maging 1,000, 1,500 hectares. I'm talking about hectares, sorry. Per overall organization. Kasi tapos makakapagbigay natin the RCEP program that I'm sure you have heard from Senator Cynthia before. The RCEP program na nagbibigay tayo ng makinarya para sa ating mga magsasaka ay bibigay natin sa mga cooperative. Sila magde-decide sinong gagamit muna, saan gagamitin. We are not organizing all of the cooperatives. We don't have to dahil meron naman dyan mga farmers cooperative na operating na. Meron dyan mga irrigators association, kami may mga sanghera, all of these different organizations. So we will take advantage of their organization. And to that end, I just did the budget also of the CDA. At dinagyan namin ng mas malaking pondo kasi talagang aasahan natin ng Cooperative Development Authority para sila ang magbubuo ng mga kooperatiba na hindi masyadong matibay pa, patitibayin pa. Palalakin at patitibayin.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President.
Thank you, sir. Raquel Bayan, Radyo Pilipinas.
Sir, good afternoon po. Yung Masagana program po, hindi lang siya basta nakafocus sa pagpapaigting ng produkto but also sa pagpapaigting rin po ng value chain. Ano na po yung mga measure na in place para ma-achieve po yung goal na to?
Well, exactly. Well, we are trying to strengthen it at every point in the value chain. Even the biotech is research. So yung pinag-uusapan natin mula sa research hanggang sa marketing. The marketing is hopefully going to be something like Kadiwa or something like that is inspired by the local government. But in between, lahat pinapatibay din natin and we are making sure that first of all, Simple lang, yung mga simpleng problema na hinarap natin, mga rice smuggling, sugar smuggling, onion smuggling, yan, titigil natin ng ano yan. Gagawin namin lahat para matigil yan. Yung hoarding, I think maliwanag na sa atin lahat na yung pagtaas ng presyo by 87% nung nakaraang Pebrero, Enero, Pebrero, walang dahilan yun. Kumpleto ang onion natin dito. Nag-hoard lang talaga at iniipit ang presyo. Tapos, yung cold storage ay hindi pinapagamit sa iba. Para yung kontrolado lang, yung mga sindikato, yung kontrolado lang nila ang
Explanation
onion,
ng
yun lang ang pwedeng pumunta, makaabot sa palengke.
price
So
crisis ng onions.
that's the thing that we have, si Senator Sinte, halos briefing kami dyan sa taas. Kasi matagal na nilang iniimbestigahan yan. Kaya kailangan na talaga natin gawa ng paraan yan. So these are that we take it at both sides, that from the smuggling side, from the hoarding side, that's on the marketing, but also on the production side. And because pagka there's very simple concept tinatawag vertical integration, pagka imbis na isang kumpanya may ginagawa, isa naging trader, isa naging marketing, isa retail, pagka iba-iba yan, maraming cost yan paglipat. Pag vertically integrated yan, pagkasama lahat yan, wala nang cost yun, tuloy-tuloy na lang hanggang sa retail. Yun ang hinahabol natin. And that's what we are trying, that's what we have been doing.
And then lastly, sir, how can we ensure the sustainability of Kadiwa program?
How?
How can we ensure the sustainability of Kadiwa program?
Productivity. The problem of the Kadiwa program now is production, supply. Kulang ang production natin. Kaya hindi natin yung iba, kung may import, hindi naman natin maibigay sa presyo na gusto natin. That's the problem. Kaya kailangan ang bubuhay sa Kadiwa ay ang increased production of all agricultural commodities.
Thank you, sir. Ana Felicia Bajo of GMA News Online.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Sir, may we just get update on the fishing talks with China? Because recently, sir, merong mga reports na yung mga fishermen, hinaharang pa rin sila sa Pag-asa Island. And recently, yung BRP Dagohoy, sinundan siya ng Chinese vessel. Meron po ba tayong update, sir, dito sa talks na to?
Yung latest na report ay sinundan na lang.
Mhm.
Hindi na kagaya ng dati na talagang hinaharang. So there's a little progress there. Kaya actually ang BIFAR merong projection na lalaki ang huli because nabawasan nga yung nabigyan ng pagkakataon ng ating mga farmers. That is because we are continuing to talk to the Chinese government, to President Xi in every way. Para na at ang inuna ko talaga nung kami nagkita ay sinabi ko, unahin na lang natin yung fisheries. Huwag na natin pag-usapan yung teritoryo. Dahil hindi naman tayo makakapag-decide ngayon dito na nag-uusap tayo. Unahin niyo yung mga fisheries. Dahil sinasabi ko, wala namang kasalanan yung tao, bakit na natin paparusahan? So, we are making some progress in that. And then also the coordination, pagka may fishing ban, may coordination na tayong ginagawa sa kanila para hindi na lang bigla fishing ban na ngayon. Makapagplano naman tayo. Pag sasabihin may fishing ban in 2 months time, planuhin na natin anong gagawin ng mga mangingisda. So bigyan natin silang ibang livelihood or another source of income. So that's slowly, paano mo na, these things do not come very quickly. Slowly, but we are slowly making progress because the key to that was really the improved communication between the Philippine government and the Chinese government.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Samuel Medenilia of Business Mirror.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Magtatanong lang po sana kami ng update regarding po dun sa parang joint order for farm to market road. Kamusta po yung magiging nabanggit po nila earlier yung parang magkakaroon ng NIP? Meron po kaya itong budget na allocate for the farm to market road? Tsaka kung sakali magkano po? At tsaka gano'n ilang kilometers?
Malaki yung aming nakalagay for the farm to market roads because ang ginawa natin nung nakaraan, ang farm to market roads walang naman plano kung anong hihingi, kung sinong congressman, gobernur, makahingi, lalagyan ng farm to market road dun sa kanila. So, nung pumasok kami, pinagplanuhan namin saan ba talaga ang kailangan na farm to market road. Ngayon, kung yung mga request na local request ay medyo kasama dun, medyo pwedeng i-adjust doon sa national program, yun ang tinutukoy namin. So, we have a major farm to market road. I don't want to give you the final amount yet because you're going to print it and then it's going to go into hearings and magbabago and then you will say what happened to the money that you promised. So, wag na muna. But once we go through the process, but we have that was one of the major concerns. We keep talking about supply chain problems. So para that will help the supply chain and bring the farmers closer to the market.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank
Okay?
you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Malacanang President.
It's really an arms race. Every defense or every capability that we develop to block or to catch or to nullify this kind of transactions, of course, they come up with new technology, they come up with new techniques. And so, ganun lang talaga. That's the
uh, how will you protect the government through those abusive online lenders?
Well, we have to continue strengthening our capabilities when it comes to this. This is not a problem that is exclusive to the Philippines alone, and that is some of the danger that people are starting to use AI. People are starting to use all the new very powerful tools that are available to be used on the social media or on the internet in general. There is not. It's really an arms race. Every defense or every capability that we develop to block or to catch or to nullify this kind of transactions, of course, they come up with new technology, they come up with new techniques. And so, ganun lang talaga. That's the only way that we can do it. We continue to monitor very closely and do all that we can. The SIM card registration, I think, was a big step, and I think we are getting to the point where we have disposed of or taken out of the system many of the SIM cards that have not been registered because they have been used for illegal purposes and for these scams that we have been hearing about. So we just have to be very, very watchful, and we have to be very, very careful, and also be aware of the new technologies, of the new ways in which that, we can prevent these kinds of things. But it really comes down to the public. Uh, my advice to the public is that when you get the message and there is a deal being presented and it sounds too good to be true, it is. There's no such thing as 100% risk free. There's no way to guarantee these enormous returns on what they are claiming on the money that you give them. So be very, very, if the public is aware and knows and is able to spot because of the way that these scams are presented, then that is the best defense that we have. Pag nakita nga, sasabihin, hindi, kalokohan nito. So just archive it and just don't open it even. Kasi baka makapasok na naman yung mga malware, mga worm, you never know. It's as I said, it's basically an arms race, but our best defense is a knowledgeable consumer who can see for themselves and determine for themselves that those that are legitimate offers let's say a promotional offer as opposed to a scam.
Yes, sir. Will you push for any sanction on this matter?
Do
Any sanction on this matter? Will you push?
we have to it's not that easy to we talk about sanctions because mahirap na nga hanapin yan. What the best that we can do, there are certain instances, especially when they're very large scale, now that we can find exactly where it's coming from. But again, it's a very movable. It's not. These are not offices, corporate offices in a big building. These are people sitting in somebody's basement with a computer, which they can just shut down, sell away, buy a new one, and keep going. So that's the trouble that we are finding now. Of course, should anyone be found guilty of promoting such scams, then the full force of the law will come into play.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Maricel Halili, TV5.
Sir, magandang umaga po.
Magandang man.
Sir, are you happy with the version of Maharlika bill passed by our legislators? When will you sign it, sir?
I will sign it as soon as I get it. Am I happy? Well, that is the version that the House and the Senate has passed, and we will certainly look into all of the changes that have been made. And I think most of the changes that were proposed and that were eventually adopted really had to do with the safety and the security of people's pension funds. Doon nag-alala ang tao. But let me, perhaps we are looking in the wrong direction. The key to the success of any fund, any hedge fund, pension fund, sovereign fund, investment fund, is the management. Of course, all of these things can happen. We've seen them happen before because the management chose for it to happen. Itong mga skandalo na nakikita natin sa ibang lugar. On the other hand, we see examples of really successful funds. And really the difference is the management. And that's why we have made sure that it is not a government, it is independent from government. One of the first changes that I proposed to the House was to remove the president as part of the board, to remove the central bank chairman, to remove the Department of Finance, because it has to operate as an independent fund, well managed professionally. Yan ang susi dyan. Kung korap ang ilagay mo dyan, korap talaga yan. Mawawala yung pera. Kung mahusay ang ilalagay mo dyan, ay lalaki yan at magagamit natin yung pondo yan. So that's where we are now. If the Maharlika Fund, if the bill comes before me, I will sign it. But the secret to its success is who do we put in management? What is their experience? What is their reputation? What is their success rate? And we have quite a few good money managers, financial managers there that we can call upon. So certainly, I sometimes I've been watching the discussions that have been going on the Maharlika Fund, and I say, that's all true. That's all true. You must worry about that. But the only way to make sure that we do not get into trouble, or the fund does not get into trouble, is that it's well and professionally managed. And so one of the elements that makes that happen is that there is a very clear independence from the day-to-day government function. Those decisions are not made by political decisions in government. The decisions made for the fund are made by finance professionals.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mela Lesmoras, PTV4.
Hi, good morning, Mr. President. Sa isang bagong survey po ng Publicus Asia, lalo pang tumaas ang inyong approval rating from 60% to 62% at maraming Pilipino rin ang lumalabas na naniniwalang nasa tamang direksyon ng bansa. Ano pong reaksyon nyo dito, sir?
Well, I'm glad. Mabuti naman. At makita
Hmm.
na alam niyo, hindi natin makakalimutan na talagang sigaw namin na kahit yung kampanya pa ay pagkakaisa. Ay siguro, itong mga
Yan.
ganitong klaseng mga resulta
Magkakaisa.
na nangyayari ay dahil nagkakaisa tayo, nagkakaunawan tayo. Kaya for example, sinasabi na tama ang direksyon na tinutunguan ng ekonomiya, na tinutunguan ng Pilipinas, ay ibig sabihin, sabay-sabay tayong tutulong. And that's really what we are talking about. But of course, still, at the very heart of it, I have to thank all those who have continued to support not only myself, but all of the different things that we have been trying to do to make life better for all Filipinos, to find ways to bring us into the forefront of the global economy. Para naman, kilala na ang Pilipinas na magandang magtrabaho dito, maganda mag-invest dito, maganda magnegosyo, magandang kausap ang gobyerno, magandang kausap ang mga private sector. Yun ang ating habol para sa ekonomiya. At the same time, we are government after all, and the social side of that is also very important. So talagang pinipilit natin, but we can only afford a large social program if you have a robust business side that is also giving you returns. So it's all connected, even for not only for the mainstream, but also for those who who sometimes fall through the cracks. Those disenfranchised, kung tawagin, and that is those are the old, the young, and the sick. Yun, kailangan talaga gobyerno ang gagawa niyan. So these I think that naintindihan, naunawaan ng tao yan. At kahit na hindi pa natin nakikita naman siguro na lahat ng kaya ng gawin ng pamahalaan ay ginagawa para maabot natin yung ganyang klaseng sitwasyon. Magandang buhay, maraming trabaho, at kahit na yung mga naghihirap ay nakakatanggap na kahit pa paano, nakakatanggap ng tulong sa pamahalaan.
Okay, thank you po, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ulitin ko yung interview niyo kahapon, ha? Kasi sasabay, ilalabas ko yung photo niya, yung kasama niya si President Biden. So, ulitin ko ulit ito.
Mr. Kenneth Pasyente, PTV4 for our first question.
Ayun sir, good morning. Regarding po dito sa launching po ng Ka-Negosyo Center, sa tingin niyo po paano po ito makakatulong lalo na po doon sa mga negosyante po sa MSMEs?
Yun lagi talaga ang ating inaalala at binibigyan ng pansin ay yung mga MSMEs dahil napakarami nga at karamihan ng ating mga negosyo, lahat ng ating mga maliliit na tindahan, lahat ng other economic enterprises na very small scale, yun talaga ang buhay ng ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. At hindi lang, kasi actually, habang nakikilala ko at nag-uusap kami ng mga iba't ibang leader sa iba't ibang bansa, ganun din, lalo na sa Southeast Asia, ganun din ang sitwasyon. Talagang kailangan nilang alagaan. Kaya itong ganitong klaseng programa ay ginagawa lahat upang maging matagumpay ang kanilang sinisimulaan na bagong negosyo o ibinabalik yung sumara ng pandemya, paano natin pabalikin, pero pabalikin natin ng mas maganda na ginagamit yung internet, ginagamit lahat ng at bibigyan pa rin, may counting tulong, may counting seed money, at ang pinakamahalaga sa lahat talaga ay yung training. Dahil kailangan natin turuan ang maliliit na negosyante kung paano humawak ng pera, kung paano mag-accounting, kung paano makipag-usap sa bangko, kung paano gumawa ng business plan. Yan ang ginagawa. Yun ang pinakamahalaga at yan ang ginagawa ng mga programa kagaya ng kanegosyo. Yan ang itutulong nila. Yan ang pinakamalaking tulong na maibibigay nila. Hindi lamang yung seed money, kung tawagin, kung hindi yung training. Sa naranasan ko, sa pag-develop namin ng mga cooperative, ganun talaga. Siyempre mahalaga din na meron silang pagsisimulan, may hawak silang konting cash. Ngunit, kailangan kahit magkano ibigay mo yan, kung hindi nila alam i-manage yung kanilang negosyo, hindi rin mawawala din yan after a while. Kaya yung training ang pinaka-importante sa akin talaga.
Sir, kasabay po ng pagbangon po ng ekonomiya, sir, ano po siguro yung maipapayo nyo po sa mga negosyante, especially po yung mga nagsisimula pa lang, sir? Thank you.
Ganito, mag-training kayo at marami naman programa, meron ng gobyerno. Meron tayong mga yung sa DTI, tinuturuan natin, nagte-training tayo, hindi lamang training, nagbibigay pa tayo ng mga kit. Kung ano bang gusto nyo, maging air condition na repairman ka, may bibigay na compressor, may bibigay na kaunting gamit. O kung magpapagagawa ka ng magbe-baking ka, bibigyan ka ng pwedeng gagamitin para lutuin yung produkto. Lahat yun, ganun. So meron yan sa gobyerno. Ngunit, lagi kong sinasabi, kahit lahat ng gobyerno ay ginagawa yan, hindi magiging sapat. Kaya kailangan, kahit lagi namin pinag-uusapan yung PPP. Dahil talagang yung mga private sector na gustong tumulong. At to let us give credit to the private sector. Kung minsan tinitingnan natin sila, wala na, nagpapayaman lang yan. I have to give credit to the private sector, to organizations like Cebuana and Villar, that they really have gone out. And this is siguro ang iniisip lang nila kung paano matulungan yung mga maliliit. At siguro kapag pinagsabay natin yung ginagawa ng pamahala, ginagawa ng mga pribadong sektor, ayan, yun ang dapat sila, mag-avail sila doon sa mga ganong klaseng mga programa kahit papano. At huwag silang mahihina ng loob. Kung yung unang pinasukan nila, baka hindi masyadong magandang resulta, sige lang, nandito pa kami, uulitin natin, hanap tayo ng magiging maganda para sa inyo, yung magbabagay para sa inyo, na palalakihin ninyo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ivan Merina of GMA 7.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. President. Sir, bukas po, mag-iisang taon na ang inyong administrasyon. How would you assess your administration's performance in the past year? At kung inyo pong mamarapatin, Mr. President, ano ho ang gradong ibibigay ninyo sa inyong sarili bilang Pangulo at gayon din sa inyong mga appointee in terms of delivering the promises you made during the campaign?
Well, the delivering of promises is a work in progress. It's not something that you say, tapos na, I finished it. This is an ongoing process. Again, we have to bear in mind that the international situation has changed in terms of trade, in terms of geopolitics, and so we are having to adjust to that. And now it is very clear that the most successful economies were those who are agile and resilient. And that, I think, we have put in place the basic elements for us to do that. I saw a report earlier this morning where one of the economists said, the grade that I will give the president for agriculture is incomplete. I agree with him. We are not yet done. Ang dami pa natin gagawin. There are many, many things that we still need to do.
Humble, huh?
We have to undo 30, 35, almost 40 years of neglect when it comes to the agricultural sector. And the agricultural sector still occupies the most fundamental part of our economy. And so, yes, we have done a lot of work. I think we have seen many of the changes. We are beginning to see the systemic changes that are going to be part of the new bureaucracy. But there's still a long way to go. We continue to work on the economy to make sure that our basics, our macroeconomic basics are in place. We're still fighting with inflation. Talagang yan, isa pa rin yan ang pinakamalaking problema na hinaharap natin. At lahat ng ating maaaring gawin ay ginagawa natin para hindi masyadong nahirapan ng taong bayan. So I think we will be concluding the negotiations, the tripartite negotiations on the wage board. So meron tayong makikita na para makatulong naman tayo doon sa mga mas maliliit at nangangailangan ng tulong. So it's never enough. It's never enough. Whatever it is that we have managed to do, there is still a great deal more to do. We have a lot of work still to do, and we have to work smart, and we have to work well, and we have to be very conscious. We should not be insular and think that it is only the Philippines that exists in the world. Tignan natin, what is our true place in the world? So that is something, it's not a small thing, it's something that we are redefining. The world looks at the Philippines in a different way now than it did 1 year ago. You go anywhere now and the Philippines is always recognized. They say that if you are you are planning to invest in
Sheila.
ASEAN, then you must have a plan of your investment in the Philippines. Otherwise it is not going to be a good plan. So that is now the place that we occupy. That the job ahead of us is to make those structural changes that we have instituted, make them work now, and so that we can see the results not only in terms of statistics from the PSA, but in the lives of ordinary people.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Catherine Valiente, Manila Times.
Yes, good morning, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Good
Ulitin
morning.
natin
Yes,
to.
sir. Sir, will you accept the request of the United States to allow daw po yung mga Afghan refugees in the country? Some groups and lawmakers have expressed concern that these refugees might be a risk to our national security. So what's your take on this, sir?
Well, there are many issues involved in that question. That's why I was a little surprised when I saw some of the news reports. There is a deal between the U.S. There's no deal. We're still looking exactly at how to make it work if we can. It's entirely possible that we will not find a way to make it happen. But we have a long tradition in the Philippines of taking in refugees, although these are not refugees. They're an entirely different class of person. They are Afghan nationals who are being resettled by the United States in the United States and or other places. We are only going to be a a transition area. Dadalhin sila dito, i-relocate sila. Pagka ang sabi ng mga kaibigan natin ng Amerikano, kanila hindi palalampasin ng 1,000 tao doon sa ating kung
Hi, Maribel. Right.
tuloy itong request na ito. So, but there are security issues. Of course, we have to be conscious of that. But there are even more difficult legal and logistical issues. Because
Kaya ko
if the
inulit
plan
ito kasi
as it
isusunod
stands
ko yung
runs exactly as it's planned,
meeting nila ni President Biden para
problema.
malaman
But
natin
what
ng
plan ever ran exactly
talagang
as we had hoped?
nangyayari.
So, what we're trying to say, what if something goes wrong? Paano kung magka-delay? Paano kung hindi tanggapin yung tao? Yun yung aming pinag-uusapan. And we're continuing because we want to help. We want to help.
We want to
Ito
help.
kasi ang mga Afghan na tumulong sa mga Amerikano nung gera. Tapos biglang umalis ang mga Amerikano, naiwan ito. Ang katotohanan, pinapatay talaga sila ng kalaban. Kaya yun so inaalalayan nila yung mga Pero hindi nga sila refugee. Iba nga ito eh. This is something different. It's not something that we've encountered before. They are Afghans who are being resettled primarily in the United States. And we are going to be the third country That is the proposal of the American. We'll continue to study it and see if there's a way we can do it without endangering the security of the Philippines. We'll see if we can actually manage it and to make sure that if things start to go not as planned, ano yung mga pwede natin gawin para naman hindi before you know it 10,000 na sila doon, ang dami nang natin kailangan gawin. Kahit sinasabi that the Americans will pay for everything, who will handle all of that? The Filipino. There's even anything. And so there's still quite a few issues that we have to hammer out with the Americans. In principle, we'd like to help. We took in the Vietnam boat people. We took in the German Jews during the war. Ganyan naman ang ugali ng Pilipino eh. Matulungin tayo. But again, we have to make sure that it's not something that will affect the lives of ordinary Filipinos.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh. Oh, the last yung meeting nila ni Biden para malaman natin yung kung anong nasa isip ng ating presidente. Huwag natin tawagin tuta kagad.
Mula sa White House of the President.
This is First Lady, First Lady,
Call it professional. Welcome. That's true. They know too much about all of us.
This is the White House. This is my
Well, Mr. President, welcome back to the White House. We're talking the way over. It's been a while since you've been here.
Yes, sir.
We're both here with President Reagan and your father, and we welcome you back. And, when we met in New York last year, you told me that a strong alliance has to continue, quote, this is your phrase, to evolve as we face the challenges of this new century. And we are facing new challenges. And I can't think of any better partner to have than you. Couldn't agree more that we have to continue to evolve. Together, we're tackling climate change. We're accelerating our country's transition to clean energy. And we're standing up for our shared democratic values and workers' rights and the rule of law. And together, we're deepening our economic cooperation, which is going to continue to deepen. I think it's mutually beneficial. And we're going to announce that, we're going to announce today that I'm sending a first of its kind presidential trade and investment mission to the Philippines. We talked about that very briefly up in New York. The United States also remains ironclad in our commitment to the defense of the Philippines, including in the South China Sea, and we're going to continue to support the Philippines military modernization goals. Mr. President, our countries not only share a strong partnership, we share a deep friendship, one that has been enriched by partnership. We share a deep, and we're going to continue to support the Philippines military modernization goals. Mr. President, our countries not only share a strong partnership, we share a deep friendship, one that has been enriched by millions of Filipino Americans and the communities all across the United States. So I want to thank you again for being here. I look forward to our conversation today, and I invite you to make any comments you'd like. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And as you say, in the difficult times that we are facing ahead of us, we need to find many ways to strengthen our alliances and our partnership.
Una-una, ang sabi niya, We need to, it's difficult times. Totoo naman eh. The difficult times. Diba, may problema tayo sa West Philippine Sea. Oh. At tapos sabi niya, we need to strengthen our alliance. Why? It's in connection with the Philippine Sea. Gusto niyo ba magawan ng teritoryo ang Pilipinas? Anong ginagawa ni Presidente? May feedback. Oh, isipin natin. Gusto niyo ba na mawalan ng teritoryo? Kaya na lang ba natin ang China na mang-aagaw ng teritoryo? Baka Pilipino ba yun? Bakit ginagawa ni Presidente ito? Sabi, sarili niyang bibig na kailangan ng mas malakas sa alyansado sa Amerika para mapangalagaan ang ating mga teritoryo. Sasabihin yung tutasan ko, no? Pababayaan mo na ba na magawan ang teritoryo ng Pilipinas? Anong gagawin mo kung ikaw ang presidente ng Pilipinas? Para hindi maagaw ang teritoryo ng sa atin ng Pilipinas. Yan, narinig nila mismo sa pagsasalita ng presidente. Kailangan ng mas malakas na alyansa sa US kasi may problema siya sa West Philippine Sea. Katangahan na ng presidente kung papayagan niyang maagaw ang teritoryo ng Pilipinas ng China. Ipinamis siya nung kumpanya na not an inch of our territory will be given up. So isipin lang natin yung predicament ng ating presidente. Pag magbabansag agad na tuta. Kung ikaw ay, sabi nga ng isang komentaryo kung ikaw ay may problema, kung ikaw ay tatay, sometimes kapit patalim ka Kung may problema ka talaga, huwag makita naman nag-isip.
We need to find many ways to strengthen our alliance and our partnership in the face of the new economy that we are facing post-pandemic. Beyond that, there are also the geopolitical issues that have made the region where the Philippines is possibly, arguably, the most complicated geopolitical situation in the world right now. And so it is only natural that the situation in the world right now.
Narinig niyo? Ang assessment po ng ating presidente, most complicated geopolitical problem ang Pacific region right now. So if you are a good leader, what will you do? Of course, EDCA is one of the tools to prevent the Chinese from bullying us. Are you against EDCA? Those who are anti-BBM, are you anti-BBM now? Are you against EDCA? Are you going to be pro-China? we turn the argument around. Are you pro-China? Would you rather be a friend of China than the US? Has the US grabbed any territory of the Philippines? Question. Has China grabbed a territory of the Philippines? If you can answer that, maybe you're right.
And so it is only natural that for the Philippines to look to its sole treaty partner in the world to strengthen and to redefine the relationship that we have and the roles that we play in the face of those rising tensions that we see now around the South China Sea and Asia Pacific and Indo Pacific regions. So I welcome very
Unang-una, ang EDCA ay nagsimula sa Pinoy. Si President Duterte na naprobahan din ng EDCA. At saka agreement yan between two countries. At tapos, sasabihin mo rin na si President Digong is tutan ng kano. Because he approved of the EDCA sites also. Now, when it is President Bongbong Marcos, it's a different case. Ano ba naman?
very much the opportunity to come here to visit with you in the White House and to discuss all these terribly important issues. We have many things that that are new that need to be.
Oo nga, wala. Pero pinag-usapan natin dito ay wala nga nakuhang territory under Duterte. Pero pinag-uusapan ang pambubuli ng China na gustong sakupin ang territory ng Pilipinas. Pero ang tanong, mayroon na bang kaso na nang-agaw ang China ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas? Ang tanong, mayroon ba?
Assessed and again our role as partners in the world in our worldview of what
Bakit
we
ka na lang
are
dito
hoping
sa
for
taas
the future
para
of peace, not
mag-debate
only in the
tayo?
Asia Pacific and in the
Ganyan.
Pacific region, but in the whole world. So thank you once again for this opportunity.
Thank you, and I'm optimistic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Doon nga mismo, pinapakita niya, may problema siya dito sa region natin. Kung ikaw ang presidente, what will you do? Hayaan mo lang magbubuli ang China sa mga mangingisa natin? Binubunggo yung mga sasakyan natin? Ay, tanga kang presidente kung ganyan ang gagawin mo. Napunta na nga si President BBM Marcos dun sa China para to use diplomatic way. Oh. Kung matalino kung talagang mahal ni ay may mga mangingisda, bakit hindi siya umaalma pag binubuli ng mga Chinese ang mga mangingisda natin, ang mga Coast Guard natin? Bakit hindi siya nag-iingay? Gagayahin ni President Bongbong Marcos ang ganong gawain ng kapatid niya na hindi nag-iingay, tatahimik na lang. Kaya nga ako, pinapaalala sa inyo, kasi ganyan ang mindset ng presidente. Yung trying to secure everything. Kaya sa Afghan issue, ganun din. Ang sekreto ko, ganito. Ganun ko inanalyze yung sitwasyon. Bago ako nagbigay ng opinion na unpopular, inanalyze ko mabuti yung meeting nila ni Biden. Kaya nga, i-picture ko yung scenario na nag-request si President Biden kay President BBM because from what I saw noon sa joint photo op nila, ganoon lang nangyari. Ninention din ni President Biden ang West Philippine Sea. Kaya doon ko inanalyze. Come on. Just because you want to protect the integrity of the Philippine territory, tatawagin mong tuta si President Marcos? Tuta ng kano? Sabi ni Daniel Pinion, siyang magaling na that EDCA intend to intensify the role of the armed forces of the Philippines in strengthening the country's defense and security as well as humanitarian and relief operations. That's the purpose of the EDCA. Nagbabasa ka ba kayo? Ulitin natin, mayroon na bang history ang China na ng agaw ng teritoryo natin? Sabihin na natin, walang nangyari kay under President Duterte. Kasi hinayaan niya, kaibigan niya, kinaibigan niya masyado, pero to our disadvantage. Kasi binubuli yung mga fishermen natin. At what price? Yung pagkakaibigan ni President Duterte sa mga fishermen natin. At what price? What's wrong with that? Sabi ni, what's wrong with that? Anong masama doon? It makes me feel more secure about its presence. That's another one. That's magaling talaga yung si GNL. Hindi ko naisip yan. Di ba mas-secure tayo? Ang feeling ng hindi tayo nabubuli ay mas-secure. As an example, ma'am, have you found any news so far noong previous month? Parating may nalalaser, may prevention of right to passage, yung mga binabaraan ng mga barko natin na pumasok sa ating teritoryo, di ba? Ngayon, nababalitaan ka ba? O ba kayo? Tumapang pa nga ang Coast Guard ngayon. China-challenge na, challenge na ang mga Chinese. Tapos sasabihin yung tuta ng kano. ang presidente natin? Anti-PBBM ka ba kayo? Oh. Yung point nyo na may nanghibong Afghan, isang tao yun. Bakit? Wala bang nanghihipong Amerikano? Pilipino? Kung gagawin mong example yon, wala bang nanghihipo ng Pilipino sa mga underage? What a fallacious argument. Wala bang nanghihipong wala bang perverts na British? Wala bang perverts na French? If you're going to make that as an argument, that is preposterous. Good morning po, Red One. Dave Byron. Umakyat ko, gusto mo umakyat, Dave Byron? Para nakapagbigay ka ng sarili mong komentaryo. I'll give you the kung sino man yan, Didi Byram, kung gusto mo umakyat, okay lang. Boss Mike, kung gusto mo umakyat, okay lang. Huwag kang matakot. I am a gracious host. Tatanungin lang kita. You can answer my questions. So, you see the predicament of our president. Kaya ganun ko inanalyze ang Afghan situation. Ulitin ko, kung ang gusto mo bang presidente si Amy Marcos ngayon? Di walang Maharlika fan. Sa 1 year na po si Presidente Marcos. Ang pinakamalaking achievement po niya ay sa economy. Part of yan sa pakikipagbigan niya sa states. May nakuha siyang investment galing sa states. Nagpadala ng economic mission, trade mission ng states para to look into the possibility of American business doing some business here. In fact, Moderna, if you know Moderna, is now trying to look into the Philippines as a possible production site of its vaccines and medicines. Magagawa ba yan ng presidente if he is anti-American? He is not also pro-American. He is pro-Filipino. Must remember that. Because his economic and foreign policies, friends to all, enemy to none. Any Filipino against EDCA has a false sense of nationalism. Okay, tama. I agree with you 100%. Because the EDCA is not meant for offense rather. It's for defense and for humanitarian reason. Kita mo, bumait ang China sa atin? Kung hindi ginawa ni Presidente BBM, di ka patuloy ang pagbubuli ng China sa atin. Ano nangyari? Because of his moves, ang China nag-donate pa nga ng urea fertilizer for our farmers. See that? Inaamo ulit si President Bongbong Marcos. Hi, Jordan, full missed you. It's been a long time. So, ang pinaka maganda nangyari ay yung economy natin is the GDP is the best in Southeast Asia. Ma-achieve ba yan ang tuta ng kano? Ma-achieve ba yan ng makitid ang isip? Sa RCEP na lang, hindi bumoto si Sen Aimee. Naintindihan niyo ba? And then bumoto sa RCEP. Yung regional cooperation ng mga South ng nations. Anong mangyayari pag hindi tayo pumayag sa RCEP? Naisip-isip mo ba yan? Sen Aimee, matalino, hindi bumoto. Hindi naman siya hindi against, pero nag-abstain siya. Anong mangyayari? Kumbaga, sa isang community, lahat sila nag-join, ikaw ang hindi. Anong mangyayari? Magiging paraya ka. Hello, Shine. Magiging paraya ka. Magiging mai-check para ka. Hindi ka pwedeng magtinda ng mga produkto mo sa mga karatig na bansa. Tapos susundan natin ang polisiya ni Sen Aimee. Matalino ba yung polisiya niya? O yung mga fan, against siya. Hindi naman niya niintindihan Maharlika Fund. Against ka rin ba sa Maharlika Fund? Ang susunod na maganda sa kanya ay yung feeling na ang tao ay tama ang direksyon ng ating bansa. Yung confidence ng bansa sa ating gobyerno ay lumakas. Ang tiwala po ay lumakas. Kasi kung di malakas ang tiwala ng ating ang mga tao sa gobyerno, ay mahihirapan siyang mag-govern. He will find it difficult if the Filipinos don't trust the government. Oh, yan. And, patlo, wala yung sinasabing magnanakaw ang mga Marcos. Wala pang, so far, wala pang big scandals. Kamakailan lang yung mga isang kaso ng civil case against the Marcoses were thrown up by the Sandigan Bayan. So far, how much did BBM steal from the government. What scandals involving corruption so far has occurred in the PBBM government? I haven't heard of any. Only Madam Maharlika, Bagong Lipunan, Banatbay, continue to spew misinformation and black propaganda against the government, PBBM, the First Lady. The best way to fight those misinformation is, for me, is to show what the president is doing. So you can see or hear his thoughts. What better way to debunk the wrong information provided by Madam Marlica, Panat by Bagulipunan. Incidentally, these people have no evidences whatsoever. Let's see, yeah, sabi niya, I find the action now. She wants a Senate investigation about that usement that landed in me. Yeah. Actually, Mom Maribel Zavala, she has the Senate has a right to investigate. But this is a trivial matter. Spending money and resources to show that you are anti-American is foolish. So I agree with you. I agree with you totally, without reservation. That, so what kung nag-launch sa MIA? Manila International Airport, is that it? So what? Mayroong mga security. Bakit? Pa-imbestigan ka agad. May resource person naman. Siyempre, sabi mo, it has a permission to land. And that shows the blatant, the blatant anti-Americanism of Senai. Ang sabi ko ever since, pag hate remains in your heart, it clouds your decision making. Tulad ni Cory, ni President Corazon Aquino. Pag pinanatili mo ang puot sa iyong puso, hindi maganda ang iyong desisyon. So, again, I give President BBM an A- kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng bigyan ng A si BBM. Kasi may mga aberya doon sa DTR, sa NAIA, may mga sugar, yung sa sugar fiasco under then Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez. Yung may mga appointments siya. Na questionable. Those things can be corrected. So, as far as I am concerned, Hello, Cherilyn Singayan. Uh, good morning po dito sa California. It's 8:49 in the morning. So, to recap, this recap. So you know the mindset of the president when he went to the United States. He had a problem in the region, particularly the West Philippine Sea. So he sought an alliance, stronger alliance from his own words. He sought a stronger alliance with the US because China keeps bullying us. If by that, sasabihin yung tuta siya, well, I'm good. Kasi that if that is the only way to prevent China from taking a territory from us, I would do it also. Besides, US has been the longest ally of the Philippines. China, hindi. The US did not take any territory from us after all the independence. China has. They have built military installations in the properties that they grabbed. Oh, yeah, that they grabbed. Sorry, but I don't trust China. I don't trust China also. Kasi, di ba? They have a tendency to grab property from a territory from weaker nations like India. They took some territory from India and they took Tibet. Ikaw nga ang dahilan kung bakit ko ni-research yun, Maribel. So, thank you all. Since wala ng comment po, thank you all. Think it over, mga kapatid. Yung mindset po ng presidente. Kaya ako, tumama ang aking analysis kasi I looked at mga previous events ni presidente. Hindi basta-bata ako nagbibigay ng opinion. It's always backed up by certain events. Thank you very much and may you have a wonderful day. I love you all. Thank you. Till next time.